Hi guys, today we're going to talk about last night's Premier League match, Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. From the starting we realized how Spurs were going to play throughout the match. They were going to sit back and let United have the ball. See, in general, we would have hit on Mourinho on how he was playing at home. This is not acceptable. It's a blessing that the fans were not there, because the fans would have booed throughout the match on how Spurs were playing because they were sitting back at home, which is not acceptable at all. But the thing is, this worked out because United has a big problem with teams which sit back. United like to abuse the pace they have with the wingers so that they can get behind defenders and attack. This creates a lot of chances for them. But they need someone who can break down the opposition when the back six sit in the box. And that's why they signed Bruno Fernandes, and they have Pogba as well for that, to do some trickery or create some chances and break down the opposition in such a way. See, both the goals of either teams were based on mistakes. Otherwise, both played to their strengths on how they were set up. We could see that the ball was with Bergwijn, and it shouldn't have come to Bergwijn in the first place at all. Aurier was in a right wing back position, so he was up front, and so was Bergwijn. But Shaw had the ball, and he had the opportunity to chest it and go towards the left, or even clear the ball in the left. Rather, he shot in the front. In that situation, Rashford should have been aware, and he should have come in front of Aurier. Instead, he stood behind him and leaped in front, which led to the Serge Aurier's touch, and it went to Bergwijn. But the thing is, Maguire could have prevented the mistake from happening. Maguire should have come closer to Bergwijn so that he couldn't twist and turn. In fact, Maguire was so afraid of his pace that he stood way behind, and this allowed Bergwijn the space to twist. And Maguire was left turning and looking like a fool. And at the same time, De Gea could have saved the goal. It was quite easy for a world-class goalkeeper, but he messed it up, and Spurs scored their first goal. All this was working according to Mourinho's plan, because he wanted to sit back and hit United on the counter, and they created another chance as well. United defense was so compact in the middle. Everybody was so close to each other that the wide areas, the wingers, had plenty of space with them. And so there was another chance where Bergwijn was free on the right, and so was Sonny on the left, and he hit him with an inch perfect cross, and Sonny almost converted, if not for a superb save by David De Gea. Apart from that, you could say that up till 70 minutes, the best player on the pitch was Lamela, because the way Spurs were set up, they held a low block. That means that as soon as United got possession of the ball, Lamela was the first one to press. The whole team, the back six shifted towards that side, whoever the ball was with, and Lamela, being with the first to the press, got fouled the most times and won the ball the most times, and his hold-up play was excellent. In this way, he could allow the Spurs players to move forward, which was in very rare occasions, because the way they were set up. Ole realized this that United were lacking creativity, so he brought on Greenwood and Pogba instead of James and Fred. James was very poor in the whole game, and he had a few chances where he was left free. And there was this one chance where he was left free, and he had to make an inch perfect cross to Rashford, and he couldn't. Apart from that, he was quite dull. As for Fred, he did his job, but he wasn't the creative outlook that Ole was looking at. So he brought on Pogba, and you could immediately see things clicking between Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. There was this tension in the Spurs camp because the Spurs were rock solid throughout the match, and now it seemed a bit unsettled. Mourinho immediately realized it, so he brought on Getson instead of Lamela and Lo Celso instead of Bergwijn because both were tired. And Getson was a defensive midfielder and ball winning, more like the ball winning midfielder that he wanted. And Lo Celso was just brought on for fresh legs basically. And after that, for the second goal, Eric Dyer made this horrible mistake. Pogba he's almost 6'3" and he was dancing in the edge of the box, and Dyer made the most silliest foul ever. Dyer was one of the best defenders in the whole game, and he even made a super last ditch tackle to save an eminent goal from Martial. But he makes this just one mistake the whole game, which cost us 3 points. Because apart from that, the defending was perfect. And this was a result of the Bruno Fernandes and Pogba combination. And Bruno scored the penalty. There was another penalty shout, which the VAR clearly ruled out. And it was this is the first time after quite a long time that the VAR has worked properly. It's a good thing. For the last 10-15 minutes, United were pressuring Spurs. United had the ball a lot of times and they started to create more chances. Things started to click. But Sissoko made extremely key interceptions. Like there was this one where Rashford was left free and Sissoko ran towards Rashford and made a last-ditch challenge. This was a committed performance by Spurs, but in the end, I think if somebody would have won the game, it would have been United because the Pogba change made the difference. Credit to Ole for that.